Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. If you were looking for me live, I am a little bit late today. I'm going to tell you, today just belongs to Wednesday. I am at the mercy of Wednesday. But, anyways, I also just needed coffee, and so I had to make coffee first. And I found a different mug, and I love it. I think it's my dad's. But, oh, look, lipstick marks. Day 18, self-love. Again, if you want to find these, you can find them at lifehack.org. Again, lifehack.org, and there's 34 of them. I just chose the top 21 of them that I really wanted to work on and focus on, that I don't think a lot of people really kind of pay more attention to or really give that much thought to. So today, day 18. Also self-care Wednesday is laugh, laugh, ha ha ha, laugh, or giggle. I can't help that. That just happens. There are many benefits to laughing, and it's part of self-care. Learn to do things that make you laugh and spend your day joyously. Spend your day joyously. So again, it really is a big part of self-care, because we're taking things and just saying, you know what, I'm going to laugh in the face. Or have you ever heard that saying, laughing in the face of danger, right? I like, haha, I laugh in your face. But probably not like that. Be kind. All right, just be kind and gentle to people. One of the reasons I'm late isn't just because I needed coffee and because I ran late. I am at the mercy of Wednesday, like I said. It's also because at the very last minute before I started the show, I had an idea. What about quotes from people? Quotes from people who talk about, just laughter quotes from people. And it turns out that pretty much everybody I took a quote from is probably dead. Okay, they are dead. But yeah. Sorry. This mic. I miss my mic at home. My mic that's wired. Wired to work. But anyway. Alright, and now that you've seen me do all that crap. Okay. But see, you gotta laugh about it, right? You gotta laugh about it. So, yeah. Anyway. There are many benefits to laughing. One of the things I noticed before I really started healing my trauma is that and I go back to the healing trauma part, because this is a big part of self-care. If you have had trauma in your past, is about healing it and kind of making room for all that good stuff that can happen, right? And that's why laughter is amazing. I mean, there's no lie. Let's just break this apart. There are many benefits to laughing, and it's a part of self-care. And it really is. I mean, haven't you ever had like a bad day and somebody just totally sets you in a direction? You're just like, oh my God, and you just start laughing, and then you feel so much better after that. Good morning, baby sibling. Happy hump day. Hump day, hump day, hump day. I knew she was coming, so I saved that for her. But yeah, anyway, there are a lot of benefits to laughing, and we don't particularly put enough thought into how it can really change a day, how it can really change perspective, right? Learn to do things that make you laugh and spend your day joyously. Maybe watch something in the morning, especially if you're having a bad morning, right? Watch something in the morning that makes you chuckle, makes you laugh, makes you giggle. It could be a scene from a movie. It doesn't have to be the whole movie. It could be a scene from a show. It could be something you listen to. It could be a joke. I mean, I love some of the dumbest jokes in the world. I mean, they call them dad jokes now, but when I was a kid, they were just straight up puns. All right, so whatever. And my dad hates them, so I'm not sure why they're called dad jokes. But I love them. They're some of my favorites. But like I said, one of the reasons I ran late, needed coffee and needed some quotes to drive the point home. The first thing that made me think about it was a quote from Lord Byron. Always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine. Now, we all know, if you know anything about Lord Byron, you know Lord Byron was just all over the place. I mean, this guy was like all over the page. Genius writer, genius poet, personal life needed some work and some help. But, but hey, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge. Baby sibling likes a mug, found it in my father's cupboard, probably from when he went to New York. When I went to New York, guys, could not find a Starbucks, and because I was only there for about 8 hours before I jumped on a boat and took a cruise up to Canada. But want to go back really, really bad. Sibling loves New York. I didn't get enough time there, but all I had at 8:30 in the morning was a hot dog from the vendor on the street. That was my bucket list. That was my bucket list for, I can find a Starbucks anywhere. But that was my bucket list for New York, was having a hot dog from the street vendor. Guy thought I was nuts. I told him I've been on a plane all night. I want a hot dog from the vendor. And I waited. I legit waited. So anyways, that aside. But see, look, it's about laughter, right? It's about turning that moment in. And instead of saying, well, I can't believe he judged me, I was just like, dude, you know what? I'm not leaving without that hot dog. And he was already making them. So it's not like I made him do it, right? He was just getting ready for the morning rush, making sure they're all ready. I'm like, I want a hot dog. Turns out sibling didn't really care for hers, and neither did Sissy Joe. So I ended up eating all of them. I know. I have no shame. I have no shame. When it's a bucket list thing, I have no shame. So, anyways, again, Lord Byron, always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine. That's good advice. I mean, that does not replace medical professional help, okay? But yeah. Oh yeah, baby sibling said it's crazy they're out so early. I asked him, I said, do you really start this early? He's like, you would be surprised. By about 10 o'clock, a lot of people apparently will grab the hot dog too and take it to work with them. Just heat it up later. So it's just all kinds of things. Or maybe even the tourists like me that come out, go, I want a hot dog. So anyways, the next quote, a good laugh is a mighty good thing, a rather too scarce a good thing. Herman Melville. So you can see here, I have a bit of a trend. I picked authors. And one of the reasons I picked authors is, as a writer, sometimes you dig into your own pain, right? Actors do. I will hear actors say the same thing. There was an actor I heard quoted the other day. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Gene Hackman. I was reading an article on him in a magazine because he recently passed. That was so sad. But he was talking about, he's like, yeah, for certain scenes I would just dig into my childhood and all this pain and all this, and it's like, oh, and that's one of the things I did when I was in drama, is that I mean, I didn't tell anybody about it, but they're just like, wow, I don't know where you found that. It's like, you don't want to know where I found that. But it's true. It's there was one of the quotes I didn't put down, which I'm actually going to say is, was from Ricky Gervais. If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof. And you really are. If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof. And it's not wrong. I mean, it might seem like you're laughing in someone's face, but when people are mean, when people are just being a gross human to you, it might not be the best thing to laugh because you might get yourself socked in the face. You never know the situation, but when we respond in anger, what's going to happen? Fighting is going to break out, and you might get socked in the face there too. But what happens if we just take a step back? Even if you don't laugh, what happens if we just take a step back and say, what are we doing here? Bottom lining it, I have noticed, I'm not good at bottom lining it, but I have had it done to me several times. And I'm not ashamed to say that, because you know what? When I look back at these things now, and even older sibling and I look back, we laugh about it. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. And that's where the next quote comes in. To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Charlie Chaplin. So again, to truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Chaplin had a very interesting life. Not an author, but he did write a song. He did write stories, so of sorts, because he had his own production company and stuff. So, I guess a poet by design of sorts. I don't know, but I wanted to add that because even though he wasn't in the author thing that I was looking for, I liked the quote. To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to put your pain on display for everyone to see and say, I'm laughing at it. No, it means that you are saying, you know what, I am stronger than that which is trying to tear me down. Now, I'm not sure if that's what he means by it, but that's what I get out of it. I am stronger than that which is trying to tear me down. And we need to be stronger than the pain because that's how we heal the pain. And, if you haven't gathered by now from all the stuff I've shared over the last couple of weeks, I mean, we're in week 4. Next Monday is the last day of self love for this series. And then we're going to start on some other things. But when we learn how to heal trauma and we learn how to heal pain, like I said, that doesn't mean you have to go back and laugh at it because it may not be anything to laugh at. My stuff was not something to laugh at, but I also realized that it was more of my anchor in my life than I wanted it to be. The pain, the anger, the sadness, the why me's, the this, that, this pity parties, all those things were the anchor I didn't need. And I had to drop that anchor and I had to find some kind of anchor that was a little more balanced, and why not an anchor of laughter? I find that I laugh more. I find that things amuse me more, even stupid things, even dumb things. Oh my God. Sometimes I just got to shake my head and laugh because you don't know what to do and you're just like, what the actual hell, you know? And well, that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother day. But anyways, yeah, it's just it's a fascinating thing to really think about how we really genuinely feel when we're done laughing. I mean, have you ever had one of those really good laughs where you have no idea why you're laughing? Sometimes that happens to me. An older sibling just knows now. She just lets me go. My dad will ask me, "What's wrong with you?" But I haven't had one here. But since I've been here. But I do get them from time to time. I get these like little laughing fits. And it's just and even sibling will say, "What's so funny?" It's like, I have no idea. I know we started laughing over one thing, but I can't stop. I just can't stop until I'm all worn out. It's also good for it's good ab exercising. I mean, it exercises your muscle hard in your stomach. So see, more self-care, right? If you laugh, you're getting a little bit of exercise at the same time. But laughter, like Herman Melville said, is a rather too scarce a good thing. We don't see a lot of laughter anymore. We don't see a lot of laughter lately. We don't see a lot of joy and happiness around us. I mean, maybe in our immediate circles we might because, but when we look outside of our bubble, when we look outside of our life, not a lot of laughing having happening. And it's sad. It's sad because as Lord Byron said, it's cheap medicine and it is. It's good for your soul. You know, um, I'm not saying it's going to cure your ailments because, it may not. It probably won't. So go see your doctor. Okay, this is not an excuse to not seek professional help, but it can help with anxiety. It can help with depression. Does that mean it'll make it go away? No. No, I had major anxiety yesterday, and I worked through it, and I was proud of myself because just a year ago I would have just been laying on the floor like Lilo, listening to Elvis music, waiting to just plummet off the edge of the earth. But I relate so hard to Lilo in Lilo and Stitch. Sometimes it's like wow, but and not just because we're both Hawaiian, but just because it's like oh wow. But yeah, we don't laugh enough. We need to learn to laugh more. We need to find that joy in our pain. We need to find that moment of clarity in the adversity that we face. We sometimes, if something is just pummeling you so hard, we just need to laugh. Like I said, there was just a series of events this morning that made me run almost 15 minutes late. And instead of panicking and being upset about it, I was like, oh my God, I got to rush to put on my makeup. I got to rush to do my coffee. I got to rush, 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 rush. Well, actually, my coffee is kind of the reason that I ran a little later. But also, I was just goofing off online this morning and totally lost track of time until I had half an hour until 8:30. It's like, oh, it's like crap. And then I thought to myself about 8:20, I sat down, put my makeup down, and I thought, you know what? No, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. It is what it is. I'm generally on time. It's going to happen. And so that's why I said I am at Wednesday's mercy. Whatever happens today, it's just I am at Wednesday's mercy. I am just going to say, hey, you know what? I'm going with the flow. All right, I'm going with the flow. And I literally laughed about it. I was just like, oh well, this will make a good story for the show. And so the last quote, you don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. George Bernard Shaw. So I think that one might be my favorite. You don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. Now, to kind of relate to that, when I was a kid or a teenager, I was very, very serious. I mean, like I said, I hadn't talked about my trauma. At this point, when this was said to me, it was probably only a year after it finally came out, and I told my mom. Hadn't told my dad yet. And and I remember, but I was always very serious, always very quiet, head down in the book. Or just kind of like, even Dad and I, a couple months ago, watched a video, an old family video. And I looked at him and I said, wow, you're right. And he's all, what? And I said, right around that age, you told me that I acted like an 80-year-old woman. I don't know what an 80-year-old woman looks like. I know 80-year-old women who are just like, boom, they're traveling, they're doing all kinds of stuff, and they're amazing, right? But I think we were going for what we see on TV, the standard, typical thing. And my shoulders were hunched, my head was kind of down, and my mom was actually videoing, so I had no idea. But I looked at myself, and I immediately saw it, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. But now, people would say, boy, that's pretty mean what your dad said. No, I'm actually glad he said it because it clicked something in my head. And I thought, God, you know what? I don't want to be that way. When people videotape me now, shoulders back. Even though I didn't realize that it would take me decades more before I really found my true healing, I realized that I had to cut loose because I don't want to be 17 years old and acting like, I'm near death's door. No. I mean, we're not promised the next day. But let's not also force ourselves into it, right? I'm not saying laughter is going to cure the world's problems, but it sure as shit could help in that direction. You know? I mean, if you're religious, do you think God wants to see you sad? No. Do you think Buddha wants to see you sad? No. I mean, Buddhism is all about enlightenment, right? If you're Hindu or if you're Muslim or if you're, if you believe in the more like Nordic gods, wherever you put your faith, do you think they want to see you sad? No, they want you to live your best life. They want you to be happy. Are we going to be happy every day? Hell no. No, no, because we're human, right? And we are going to have those days that sometimes just, upend us. They take us by our ankles and sit us on our butts ASAP. And when that happens, just kind of take a deep breath and go, you know what? It's just one day, it's just one moment. And if you can, try to turn that moment around. Like Ricky Gervais said, right? If you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to do that. I'm going to relate this into sports, okay? I love sports. One of my favorite sports is hockey. For a very long time, almost 20 years, I had season seats until I suffered an injury. And then, I just haven't been back because I haven't, haven't been able to be back. But I had to give up my seats. But the reason I'm bringing up sports, how often do you go to games where, and maybe this doesn't happen to everyone, but I'm a magnet for people who are just mean. Okay, I don't know why. I'm a magnet for people who are just mean. And they'll come up and they'll see my jersey, they'll say something ugly, they'll say something rude. And it's just like, oh, and then I would be like, oh yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. But then, I watch Sibling, and Sibling just kind of walks through the world with like in a bubble sometimes. I mean, people will say stuff because she has this very specific jersey that drives me nuts. But she doesn't hear it, but I do. And she'll just laugh and go, they're dumb. Don't worry about them. Well, she doesn't say they're dumb. She's like, don't worry about them. But we always laugh about the fact that she never hears it. And so I started thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I should just do that. Just ignore the haters, right? Just laugh. Just, okay, that's a good one. And sometimes when you do that, they don't know what to do. You're literally upending them. So that is literally laughing in the face of adversity and making yourself bulletproof. And I've noticed that since I started doing that, I'm not a magnet to those people anymore. And when I am, it's just kind of like, if they have their kids with them, is that what you want your kids to grow up to be like? And then I giggle. Sometimes I don't mean to giggle, it just happens. But yeah, I mean, treat people with kindness and respect. Everyone's there to have a good time. There's no need to be an asshat to, the people around you. And that goes for my own people and my own people and my own fans. I have called out my own people in arenas and baseball games. It's like, really? You don't like it when they do it to you? Why are you doing it? And then they kind of stop and think. I know, and it always surprises me when I do these things because it's kind of like, whoop, you know, I wear the mask of being shy, but when it comes to defending people, I will sometimes, not always, step up. It's just, you got to right some people's wrongs because it's not right. We want everyone to have a good time. We want everyone to laugh and giggle and just be excited. That's why laughter is amazing. That's why laughing can improve your day. Like I said, if you rolled out on the wrong side of bed, you hit your head on the nightstand or something, or you're just like, oh my God, it's going to be one of those days, find something to make yourself laugh. Or have you ever noticed, I've noticed this with some of the people I know that are parents. They'll wake up and go like, oh my God, I was having the worst morning and then my kid did the funniest thing today. Or your pet did the funniest thing. And they're like, oh, it was hilarious. And then they start talking about that and they've completely forgotten about how bad their day started. So remember, if possible and when possible, when you feel like the world is just sitting on your shoulders, find something to make yourself giggle. Find something to make yourself chuckle. I will literally just Google puns and laugh for an hour because they're so dumb, but they're so funny. Or earworms, right? One of my friends loves to send me earworms and they're hilarious. They are hilarious. They're like puns and music, two great things all rolled into one. So, yeah, just find a reason. I know this isn't the best show today, guys. Like I said, I'm at the mercy of Wednesday, and I don't really care because, I've giggled, I've laughed, I've read you quotes about laughter. I've done everything I can basically talk to you about when it comes to laughter. And so the rest is up to you. You get to decide how you react to things. You get to decide how you're going to let the day roll out. You get to decide if you're going to take it personally or just walk away. And like I said, we're going, if you do any of the more negative aspects of those things, don't shame yourself. Don't beat yourself up. I can't repeat this enough during this series that we're humans, all right? We're humans. We have emotions. We have some days where we can't find the laughter in it, and that's okay. But do your best to leave it in that day. When you go to sleep at night, just say, you know what? I'm leaving all that crap here behind me because I don't need to carry it into the next day. And that has been a big part of my own healing. And it hasn't been easy. I still stumble and trip and fall, and not because I'm clumsy, but I mean, emotionally I do that. But physically I do that too. But see, you gotta laugh about it, right? I mean, I used to be embarrassed by the fact that I'm clumsy. Now it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm the clown that didn't make it into the circus, so I don't like clowns. But just, really take it to heart, what you take to heart, and decide if it's worth it. Decide if it's worth, dying on that hill. Because not all hills are worth dying on. As my best friend Troy told me once, he's all, you have to pick your battles and you have to decide what hill you want to die on and if it's worth it. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So, and that was very recently. That's why I'm saying that. So I'm going to read this one more time. I'm going to go back through the quotes and then I'm going to let you guys go. All right. So there are many benefits to laughing and it's part of self-care. Learn to do things that make you laugh and spend your day joyously. So, quote number 1, always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine. Lord Byron. A good laugh is a mighty good thing, a rather too scarce a good thing. Herman Melville. In case you don't know who Melville is, he wrote Moby Dick. Um, to truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Charlie Chaplin. Great silent film actor. My favorite's Buster Keaton, but do love me some Chaplin. And the last one from George Bernard Shaw. You don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. That's the best one. That's the anchor quote in all of this. You grow old when you stop laughing. So don't stop laughing. Okay? When you're having a bad day, find something to make you laugh. If even that doesn't work, just remind yourself that tomorrow is a new day and that it can be better if you let it. All right? Problems, as heavy and dire as they may seem sometimes, are momentary in the span of our life. And we choose whether or not we keep it going or not. Just to finish it off and kind of add one thing, because it popped in my head, so I'm going to share it. I read last week an article that said our emotions, our initial reaction to something, when it comes to anger even, is basically 90 seconds. That's how long the emotion lasts, 90 seconds. However, what we think, what we feed it with, what we put into it, that is what makes it go on longer. So, I read a couple articles that backed that 90-second thing, but if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, you don't. But think about it. Think about it the next time you get upset, because I actually did. I thought about it and I'm like, wow, that emotion didn't last as long as I thought it would, because I chose not to feed it. I chose not to be more angry about it. So remember that. The initial emotion lasts 90 seconds. If it's a happy emotion, if it's a laughing emotion, and you choose to make it go on, it will go on. Or if you walk away, you walk away. That goes the same way with an angry thing. You choose to feed it. So why not feed it with some laughter? Or feed it with, you know what? I've got this. And be stronger than that emotion. Or, and for me, like I said, when I feel that emotion starting to come up and it's negative, I will walk away. And not because I don't want to fight, but because I know that I need to calm myself down before I say something I don't mean. And I have been known to be a master knee-jerker for a good part of my life. And that has gotten me nowhere. So, so now kind of finding that balance, taking a moment, taking a deep breath, and then coming back to it when you're calm is always a better way to go. All right. So again, have a great day, everybody. Find a reason to laugh. I am laughing because it was supposed to be sunny today and it is not. And you're like, why are you laughing? Because I have curly hair, which means I'm going to go outside and I'm probably going to look like a big frizz ball later. I know. Jeez, the things we deal with, right? But hey, can't do anything about it. So just find the laughter in it. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Baby Sibling, thank you for popping on. Always love to see you on here. And I'm grateful when you are able to jump on. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching.